we have to act. I'm not certain where this is going to lead, but once that red line has been crossed, once chemical weapons have been used, I believe the president has to take action. At this stage, I believe we should have maximum use of cruise missiles going at the locations where the chemical weapons are stored, and also at their command and control locations, and also if we any other key targets in Syria that that we can hit, we should do it.
That's a Republican warmonger, wants to throw some cruise missiles around, but you notice he doesn't say who he's for or who he's against, just he's against the tactic of chemical weapons. Well, what happens when the rebels in Syria use them? Will we attack them too? Will we go around the world trying to shoot anyone who uses a tactic, whether they're our ally or enemy? Well, joining us now in this moral abyss is our friend David Warren. David, there are no good guys here. It's just degrees of bad guys, and the question of whether we want to die trying to sort it out.
Yeah, and the question of which bad guys come closest to our own interests is actually the traditional story.
That's right. What is Canada's
policy.
Or America's strategic interest in Syria right now? Do we have one? Do we know what it is?
I think John Bolton knows what it is. He has been one of the most clearly thought through critics in the matter, which is our enemy, our chief enemy in the Middle East is Islamists. Therefore, in Syria, our chief enemy would be the opponents of Assad, which hardly means that we think Assad is some kind of angel. But the circumstances in which this is proceeding are really frightening, and I would almost characterize them as insane. John Kerry, over the weekend, stepped up the rhetoric to make it appear that there will be an almost inevitable American attack in Syria at a time when he could not know the facts of the case. Yeah. Surely we learned from Iraq, to my embarrassment among those of many other allies, that our intelligence services have got to be treated with skepticism.
Well, and let me show
in this case,
let's have a little reminder of who our allies here, the folks who are coming to the aid. I want to show you a clip. It's a little bit gross, so avert your eyes if you are a sensitive person. These are the people, the rebels against whom the chemicals were used. Here's how they play.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر قاتلوهم الله أكبر الله أكبر
والعزة لله ولرسوله وللمؤمنين ولكن
That Arabic singing was added for effect because this is their promotional video. These are our allies. I don't know who the good guy is, but I know they're both bad guys.
Well, the opposition in Syria are the Muslim Brotherhood, the same Muslim Brotherhood as we have dealt with in Hamas and in the Gaza Strip, as in Egypt today. The ideology is the same as that of Al-Qaeda. There are differences between different groups and just how far they take it, how violent they can be. In Syria, largely as a result of the United States having delegated the task of organizing the Syrian opposition to Erdogan, the Islamist who is the elected leader of Turkey. The Islamists control the opposition. The Muslim Brotherhood controls the opposition entirely. Had the United States been interested in deposing Assad and replacing him with something better, they would have had to be involved a long time ago in making sure that the Islamists are not the party that would replace him.
Not just that, but I was thinking Pete King, and when he's really saying what the hawks in the Obama administration are saying, lob some cruise missiles, maybe some high-in-the-sky bombers, but certainly don't do anything that would put Americans at risk, God forbid. I mean, they know that. This is the most unpopular war in American history. 9% of Americans want it. But you lob a few cruise missiles, you're not actually going to achieve moving things around on the game board.
I'm reminded of the old Bill Clinton policy when they were up against the Serbs, which I characterized at the time, when I was being a newspaper pundit, as experimental bombing. Let's just fire in some cruise missiles, drop some bombs and so forth, and see what happens. Then we can develop our foreign policy in an experimental way after that. It's murderously wrong to do that, because there are people who are being killed by these, and we don't even know what we're doing or who we're killing.
Or why we're doing it. This is cruise missiles as a press release. David, we're out of time. We'll have you back, and next week, I promise, I'll be less loquacious in my other interviews. We'll save more time for your precious thoughts. See you again next week, my friend, and you stay.